is growing to power. With the cost reduction and the ever so slight AD reduction, it is a super popular pick that is working on a number of different champions and is reintroducing Gnar, and we might even see some other cool stuff come out from these guys.
I'm going to have to see. Of course, never ever going to see Warlip's Jax, unfortunately. Victor also going to be banned away from Perfect in the mid lane, and Ryze taken off the board. So a lot of mid lane focus kind of as expected on 6-10, a lot of changes coming out for these champions, and no surprise to see Warlip's, you know, special tailored ban just for him. Jax taken off the table.
Let's not forget Glimpse of the Void now as well. You cannot afford to give Warlip Glimpse of the Void, that ridiculous Rift Herald buff, allow him on a Jax, split pushing with damage reduction, extra bonus damage as well.
It's so insane how strong that buff is. For those of you who didn't see it yesterday, I mean, 20 minutes of this buff, it's like a static
23
shiv.
if you take the mastery point.
Oh my gosh.
I
never just had the mastery point seem significant, but when you put it on a 20-minute buff, having an extra 3 minutes is pretty insane.
It's pretty ridiculous,
and, I mean, it's not all about the Rift Herald, but I think we've seen, at least in the early game, how much stronger Rift Herald is compared to a lot of these dragons.
Yeah, so that is why we're seeing especially this Warlip ban. Surprised that Trundle hasn't been banned out just yet, because I do think that it is a priority between the two teams, but there is still one ban left available for Fnatic, so that might be what they go for.
And of course, catching you up is it looks like the final ban maybe is coming out here. We do have the Zed and the Azir taken off the table, as well as the Nidalee. So only one jungle ban coming out so far, but a lot of attention paid to the mid lane. That's 4 mid laners taken off the table.
Yeah, and we saw this quite a lot yesterday. We have to remember that on 6-9 and 6-10, while there were a bunch of really awesome mage changes and all these new items coming in, the old dogs that reigned at the top, nothing really happened to them. They are still those powerhouses that we saw in 6.8 over in MSI, with the Ryze, the Azir, and you're seeing this increase in Victor because of how powerful those two are and how well he does into those champions.
Yeah, well, mid lane actually not going to be the first pick priority, though. Still probably saving it to last. Still a lot of new potential options on the table. But the junglers, the pool remaining relatively the same. Kindred and Graves still at the top in a lot of these games, and it's going to be the priority here from Misfits. Picked up for Wisdom. You know, not a player that we've seen anything from. He obviously did not get to play yesterday. Will now be playing, I think, for the remainder of the series on Misfits, but this guy's kind of a big question mark for the team.
He was he is the starting jungler now. They fielded in Maxlaw yesterday to, you know, reignite that synergy between Alphari and Maxlaw that they always used to have. But Maxlaw, he's gone back to Giants. Wisdom is now former Giants player playing in this lineup right now. And this is, as you rightly said, one of the big questions. How's he going to stack up against Impaler? How well is he going to do with this team? He does have a fellow Korean in Dreams down in the bottom lane who did have a pretty standout performance yesterday. But with the number of junglers that are left available, I do think that Graves or Elise is going to be the next priority for Fnatic in the jungle pick, but they're going to prioritize their bottom lane.
Of course, no pressure to take it right now. They already know the jungler is down and out for the Misfits. They know what they're going to take, but they do prioritize this bot lane. That's the Braum and the Lucian immediately picked up by Fnatic.
Very strong duo pair. We saw it a number of times yesterday. We already talked about the Black Cleaver, and the Yomu's Ghostblade is something that we are seeing more and more on this Lucian down in the bottom lane. When you pair that up with the Braum, that is so much kill pressure, so devastating, and I'm curious as to what Misfits are going to act as a response.
Obviously, we've seen Taric MF come out against it. I mean, maybe SK is obviously not in this game. Maybe not quite so many controversial picks, but bot lane was one of those lanes that we said we didn't see too many changes outside of that one game where the lanes got, I think, a little crazy. But what do you think the best answer is here for Fnatic? Or do they even look at the bot lane, maybe prioritizing their solo lanes instead?
Well, it's kind of tough to say. I feel like they don't need to put any value on their bottom lane right now. They need to think about what's a bigger priority for them. And Selfie, taking away that Lissandra, he had a great performance on it yesterday. He offers so much utility and crowd control. And there is the Trundle that we were discussing. Alphari, once again, on that split pushing top. And this, for me, is one of the best matchups of the entire Challenger Series. Alphari versus Warlip. This guy has already proven himself LCS caliber top laner. Split push god, known as a guy that draws so much pressure. And Alphari is the rising star. You heard Stress mention it yesterday. He is, quote, seen as one of the top or potential LCS players. This is his opportunity to prove it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be insane to see how these guys match up, and especially what exactly is Warlip going to take in the top lane here. Does he himself take the Gnar? He suffered against it yesterday. Alphari, proven that he can do just about anything on this Trundle. I mean, if you look at yesterday's scoreboards, you might go, it was 0-1 and 4. Not amazing.
But then he 2v1.
But then he 2v1'd, and it took about a minute of the opposing team's time, and they actually just lost the game because they committed so many resources doing this Trundle. So this is totally a terror pick here, but it's also backed up by Selfie's Lissandra, and now the quick response from Fnatic is going to be that Graves in the jungle and LeBlanc in the mid lane. So
it looks like Source Purific wants to answer Selfie's play from yesterday and say, hey, look, I am still a very talented mid laner. I can show you how powerful LeBlanc can be, and we did see some super powerful LeBlancs yesterday. God, bro, racking up a crazy score. Yes, the curse did end up affecting him, but later on we did see Caps bring out the LeBlanc and make it work for his team moving forward. So LeBlanc still a very strong pick in the current meta, a little bit more of a prioritization on the Abyssal, but I'm excited to see him bring this one out.
And interesting, of course, is Misfits now round out the rest of their team composition. It is going to be that Ezreal for Yuki, and it looks like the Trundle actually going to go into the bot lane here for Dreams because the Maokai has been picked up. Could be a Maokai support. This is 6-10. Things have been pretty crazy, but I do think that it's probably going to be that Maokai in the top.
I would expect it to be up in the top. Alfaro, he can play carries, but if he needs to, he can be also put on those tanks. Be that solid front line that his team needs. He always loves to make those flank engage sort of plays that you need from the Maokai to really set up those fights. And when you pair that up with a Lissandra, you're looking at a fantastic mid to late game team fight composition coming up from Misfits.
Yeah, really, I think overall, Misfits seem to have gotten everything that they want. It's very similar to their previous draft. Obviously, the Maokai's under the Trundle in top lane, a little bit different in the jungle, but I mean, Wisdom, the new player, I think really the big question mark is the draft looks absolutely excellent for them. And the final pick actually coming in here for Fnatic, it looks like Warlib, he knows power when he sees it, and Echo just as powerful as he's always been.
We saw such little Echo yesterday, and he got through so many pick and bans, and just nobody picked him. Now, you and I, we were watching together the VODs of the low priority versus kick. Game 3, that Echo with a Rod of Ages was absolutely insane. It does so much damage, especially, again, with this Glimpse of the Void buff. It's uncontrollable. You cannot deal with it. So the fact that it went by so many pick and bans, I feel like the teams know something that we don't.
Maybe. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of changes coming in on 6-9 and 6-10, right? There's probably too many to adapt to at a rapid pace, but there are some things that, you know, have remained the same, and one of those things, for the most part, has been the top lane, and Echo versus Maokai, a matchup that we are not strangers to whatsoever, and really the only question is, how does the itemization change for both of these champions?
Yeah, it could very well do. We've seen a couple Rod of Ages been picked up by both in some of the open qualifier pickups, so whether or not Alfaro wants to be a little bit more aggressive with that Rod of Ages pickup, he might choose to do that. But only time will tell. So Warlib versus Alfaro will be one of the matchups that I want to keep my eyes on, and I think this should be a very exciting game. Fnatic Academy looking to prove themselves because they need every win they can get.
Absolutely do. Of course, already off to a rocky start, already picking up their first loss. Misfits, on the other side, should probably be eager to pick up their second win. A great way to start off your round robin with a quick, confident 2-0, especially against a team that we expected so much from on the side of Fnatic Academy.
Well, I feel like in this matchup, they definitely are the underdogs. Misfits, for me, are looking like they are going to take the top of the group if they keep playing the way that they are.
Yeah, and we'll have to see, because we are now in our first game of the day. Misfits on the blue side versus Fnatic Academy on the red. Both teams geared up. Pings are coming out in the mid lane, and everybody's running to their respective lanes. Really interested to see if something changes here in the level 1 strategy, or if maybe we just keep sticking to standard lanes, because I don't think we've seen a lane swap yet.
Well, we did see a couple lane swaps in the second games of yesterday's game. The Group B. Group B is where we saw all the lane swaps come out, and it was quite interesting how things changed up. Slight adaptations in the way those lane swaps are set up, but based on the vision coming out from both teams, it looks like that Fnatic, they just want to get some deep vision down. They want to know exactly what Misfits are trying to do, because when you have a Lucian Braum, you definitely want the 2 versus 2. You want to be able to be as powerful and get as much of an advantage to bully around this Trundle Ezreal as possible.
I like this. Running through the jungle as a team, ready to take on anyone. Obviously just there for vision, but, you know, ready for those opportunities to go in at any moment. And it seems like both sides have the information they need. You can see Ezreal and Trundle responding on the opposite side. So no real information advantage quite yet, although Lucian has been spotted out on the top side. So looks like we are actually going to have that lane swap. Not something we saw from Group A yesterday, but now being busted out here today in day 2.
All right, so actually, yeah, it looks like that it is Fnatic Academy setting that one up. So they're going to go for the double jungle up in the top half of the map. Then it is very likely that because Misfits have that deep vision in the bottom half, they're going to know what exactly Fnatic Academy are doing, and they've realized that the lane swap hasn't come out from Misfits, so they're going to rotate back down to the bottom lane. They're going to lose a little bit of farm, but as we were talking about earlier, Fnatic want that 2 versus 2. Yeah, so they were just hanging around the top half of the jungle, waiting for Misfits to make a move, and then once they saw where Alfari was, then they rotated around and like, right, now we know where it is, we're going to get it for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like they're pretty committed to having that 2v2. Willing, as you said, to give up a little bit of XP there overall, and now, you know, a little, not quite at a major disadvantage at this point in the laning phase, but not getting level 2 first can be pretty massive.
Certainly can.
Ezreal already, small CS lead. That, of course, was going to balance out here. Lucian's still going to grab the entire first wave, and Warlib with the fast level 2 on top lane, already getting cheeky, already getting aggressive, but Maokai just shrugging off that early damage, so once again, looking like a pretty calm laning phase. Oh, level 2 though.
Level 2, yeah. There's the spike that Misfits are trying to take advantage of, and they do get a little bit of damage down onto the Fnatic Academy bot lane, as Werlib now really going head-to-head with Alphari, wanting to show that he still has that carry potential on this Echo.
Of course, we're going to watch these guys trade blows for a long time. We're excited about them as individual players, but unfortunately, I think the matchup they've picked not quite as explosive as maybe the Gnar Trundle or the Echo Trundle.
Top lane's still top lane, you know. You can never really, you can put as many carries as you want up there, but you can never take the tank out of top lane. And Selfie.
Selfie could be in trouble. Is he actually going to have to flash out of this one? Paler, Selfie trying to run down, but Echo's on the way. This could be first blood, the quick flash. Just one traded for one, though. Impaler, is he going to dash forward? He's trying to get the reset on the quick draw. Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, Echo over the wall. Quick first blood for Fnatic Academy. Nice, clean map movement from the team.
So double flash being used out by Fnatic to catch out Selfie as he was trying to get some vision down, but Wisdom has now found Fnatic members.
Move forward. He could get stunned up under here. He doesn't have another dance of arrows. He is already stunned. This could be devastation. Misfits. Oh. The quick flash over the wall. Alphari, is he in trouble? TP is coming in. It's so perfect. Overstayed his welcome. Moving forward. Selfie now hungry for Impaler. He wants some revenge. The tree comes over. Smackdown on the Graves, and Misfits turn that one around. A 2-for-1 when all is said and done.
Misfits with the decisive call. They realize that Fnatic are not in a great position, so they set up for the collapse. Wisdom drawing their pressure, Alphari coming in from the side, and then the immediate teleport from Selfie. Really nice teamwork coming out from Misfits to turn that gank around.
And just a really solid start. Excellent way, as you said, to turn that one around, because Misfits really looked on the back foot. I was surprised to see Fnatic get the best of them, but it's working out pretty well. And now in the bot lane, trend looks like it might just continue. Dreams, this man,
wow,
he's playing top lane in the bottom lane. That's what it feels like. No fear running at that Lucian.
Typically, Trundle has one of the weaker laning phases, but very early on, getting to the lane early, getting that early level 2, meant that he just feels so much more confident. He's not afraid to walk up, and he's playing around the Q of Clyde. Every time it is down, he just feels like, I can walk up, I can get a bit of damage down, I can get that attack damage reduction onto Exorc, and then my Ezreal can definitely come out and get ahead in the trade.
And you can see paying off for them overall. Ezreal, not a huge CS lead quite yet, but a comfortable laning phase. It's really all Ezreal can ever ask for in the early game. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Selfie with a red buff. Never quite what you want to see your lane opponent have, but
that is brutal.
You can just see So Perfect pretty much just forced under this tower. Not looking comfortable at all here on the bottom side, or in the mid lane.
So Perfect on the LeBlanc. This is a matchup that we haven't talked about very much, and it's not one that we usually see. We have seen the Lissandra into the LeBlanc a couple times. Lissandra typically fairly safe because you do have decent wave clear. And every time she tries to dash in with the distortion, you can use your W to lock her in place and you can get a decent amount of damage down. So if you play the matchup properly, the Lissandra's pretty safe. And with the red buff, it's just starting to go in her favor because every time Soz Perfect's abilities are on cooldown, and they are pretty long cooldown early on, she can just throw out those basic attacks, apply that red buff, and it's just going to be extra damage that Soz Perfect can't do anything about.
Yeah, and you can see how well that's paid off. It may not mean a kill quite yet, but it does mean a decent farm lead, 12 CS in the mid lane, and additionally, oddly enough, the Dark Seal coming in for Selfie once again. He built this yesterday too. So
I've actually seen this a couple of times. Oh, we actually have a replay of what happened. So Selfie moving into the river, trying to get a bit of vision down. He feels he's safe because he realizes where Wisdom is, but ends up getting collapsed on by a double flash coming out from Fnatic Academy. Really like this play from Impaler as well. Ooh, as Alphari getting collapsed on.
Yeah, may have overstayed. He does have a CS advantage, but what's it going to be worth?
Alphari?
Can he get the kill? Oh, he doesn't have the mana. He doesn't have the cooldowns. Just has to walk away. It's a rough life for Alphari, but good movement from Impaler to make sure his top laner stays safe.
If nothing else, Alphari has definitely sent a message with that play. Level 6 Maokai to the level 5 Echo, showing, yo, you might be the carry, quote-unquote, top laner, but I'm a tree, and you have a blunt tool to cut me down. So Alphari showing his dominance up there with a pretty significant CS advantage.
That was the most in-depth lore-based color analysis I've heard in a long time. Let's be honest, your weapon is not sharp, and I am made of wood. You cannot hurt me. I don't think that's quite how it works in terms of itemization, but the double Doran's definitely paying off for the Maokai. And like you said, I think Alphari absolutely dominating this lane. You can see it in the CS now, 20 lead. We are 7 minutes in, and there's a 20 CS lead for that Maokai in the top lane.
How does a tree
insane.
even wear rings? Where does he put them?
I mean, he has hands in this. He's an animated tree.
Oh, I
don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but how does a tree talk? I mean, if we really want to get into it, why are rings the first thing you're bringing up?
Because that's a good point. That's a good point. It's Cly now getting collapsed on.
Moving forward, Cly could be in trouble here. Exhaust coming out as well. He does have the flash. Lissandra's here too. He's going to have to try to make it to safety, but Kindred, she's so mobile, but doesn't quite have enough from Dance of Arrows. Perfect moving in. Wisdom is going to get locked down by that snare. They're trying to burn him down. So much damage. No level 6 for the Kindred means 1 kill. They're moving forward. Lucian doing so much. Frozen Tomb does drop, but Dreams just tanky enough to make it out alive. But I think that's 5 members of Fnatic Academy all on the bottom side.
No teleport available for Alfari, so he couldn't jump into the fray, but Willib immediate with that re-engagement. He came in from the flank, set up beautifully to get the kill down onto Wisdom, and that was just a decisive call coming out from Fnatic. We were concerned because yesterday they didn't feel like they were playing very much as a team, but today they seem to have changed a lot.
Yeah, definitely a great adjustment from the team overall to try to punish that map movement, punish them from overextending onto Cly. And Cly walking away pretty fat and happy in that exchange, picking up the extra assist, moving forward, getting an extra kill over onto Warlib, and that's exactly what they needed because you can see Warlib fell behind a lot in CS on the top side in the meantime.
He certainly did. We are going to have a replay of exactly how that went down, so have a look at this. Cly is the initial target focus coming out from Misfits. They feel like they've caught him out, but because of his E, he blocks a lot of damage, and there's the flank TP coming out from Warlib. He sets up beautifully. The nice binding coming out from Perfect to set that one up onto Wisdom. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have his ultimate, and then it's an easy pickup. Really beautiful ultimate coming out from Selfie, getting the slow onto all 5 members and acting as a nice zone control that Fnatic feel a little bit uncomfortable pursuing on, and then you have the pillar to completely deny any further engagements from Fnatic. So Misfits, even though they lose one, really great execution of the disengage.
Yeah, we gotta say, it could have been so much worse for them, so have to be happy with what they do have, and overall, despite losing those 2 kills, they do still have the 1K gold lead, because all Fnatic was able to do was even that score up. Not exactly where you want to be, and Wisdom now continuing to farm up, getting that second stack pretty early in the game, and I think things are going well so far for Misfits. Fnatic making some good moves to kind of prove us wrong from what we initially thought yesterday, though.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Fnatic really trying to make plays as a team. Really like the adaptation from Impaler, who typically in the past I've cast a lot of throughout the ESL UK Premiership, and he was that very aggressive style of jungle where he loved to live in your enemy jungle, and in a sense showed a bit of disrespect towards his opponents, but now he seems to be showing a much more respect towards Wisdom, and he's already completed his warrior enchantment, so he does have that extra edge over Wisdom right now. And notice how Impaler's playing a lot around his teams as well, spending a lot of time in the top half of the map, trying to help out Warlip after his massive deficit that he's experiencing.
Yeah, definitely, I think, solid play coming in from Impaler, and good adaptation after day 1, where potentially over-aggressive play cost him so much. However, Alfari, you can see continuing to trade in the top lane. May need to pay a little bit more attention up there because despite their best efforts, despite those 2 kills going over to Warlib, Alfari is just so far ahead.
He certainly is. Decided to go for that early cloak, but we do have to remember that the Spectre's Cowl, my apologies, the magic resist on that has been ever so slightly nerfed. Ooh, and Selfie.
Mid going down, potentially. Selfie.
It's a lot of damage.
Definitely losing that trade overall, but now no commitment coming in from Perfect. Doesn't want to risk getting Frozen Tomb there.
Wisdom down the bottom, there's no vision.
Wants to move in, has to choose between the stack and the bottom lane. Dreams moving forward. Gonna find it quite yet. He's moving up, but he may just find Impaler a bit more than he bargained for. Literally 1 health.
Calculated.
Perfect. Gonna grab that one. And Wisdom just waiting around the corner, but he's spotted out on the ward. They're gonna get the chance to set up on him if they want.
3-pronged attack.
Oh no, he knows he's been spotted. That's 1 stack of concussive blows. But Fnatic's, I mean, tempering their aggression compared to what we saw yesterday. I feel like they would have immediately collapsed on that. Alfari, though,
not tempering at all.
Yeah, no such thing as tempering your aggression when it comes to top lane players.
Really cool stuff coming out from him. Ooh, this is the Mountain Drake, and Misfits are going to be the one to start this one off. We saw this yesterday, and I honestly feel it's one of the more valuable dragons because you do get that extra bonus damage to epic monsters and turrets. So when it comes to taking Baron, stacking that up with the Kindred is really good for you because it just makes your Baron taking potential that much stronger. Yeah,
a nice thing to have for sure, and you can see as that one drops, the duels continue on the top side, but I think you're completely right. It's that, especially when we've seen so many neutral objectives be the central focus of teams, and would make taking that Rift Herald easier too, and that has been, I think, the defining point in top lane in just about all of our games since the start of this tournament. Well, Graves, though, potentially coming in. Cleanse coming out as well, but Selfie has the overstayed as well. LeBlanc trying to go back, moving forward. So Perfect taking a lot of damage, has to flash out. Wisdom hungry for blood, though. Can he go in? Maokai's there to back him up. Impaler going down. Wisdom going to make it out, and suddenly Warlub's the 3 members is going to be able to survive, but excellent play. Nope, they're moving forward. Dreams, subjugate. Maybe a little too hungry for blood there, but Misfits with a quick pickup on 2.
Wow, really nice play coming out from Misfits. It's Fnatic Academy being the one to try and set that one up. Impaler coming in from the flank to try and collapse down onto Selfie, but some really quick thinking from Selfie. Being able to turn that one around is really nice from him. So the fact that there was the also immediate response from Alphari and Wisdom to just back Selfie up at the same time, really cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely insane how well they executed there. I'm going to say it looks pretty good for them. I was wondering how well Wisdom was going to do compared to Max Lore, but looks like there aren't any communication issues because you can see just how well the team played together here.
So you can see on the mini-map, Impaler coming in from the flank, trying to get the collapse. Sauce Perfect uses both of his gap closers to get the damage down onto Selfie, and that enables Wisdom to then get the backup kill onto him. Wisdom still had his ultimate throughout all of this to provide the support if needed, but they didn't need it whatsoever because with Alphari coming in, being that mighty tree, he was very easily able to chop down 2 Fnatic members and get themselves the extra kills.
And of course, once again, focusing on Alphari, this is a guy who we praised as potentially an up-and-coming LCS player. And he's TPing very well this game. Was slightly faster than Whirler, but more experienced player, and we have to give him some props for that. That's something that usually a lot of newer players struggle with, and being quick on those TPs, man, you can see all the difference that it makes in those exchanges.
It certainly can be. Alphari 1-0 and 2 right now. Decided to go for the double Doran's ring. Wants to be a little bit more aggressive as we've seen throughout the laning phase. To be fair, this guy, even though he's playing that tank, he wants to try and carry as much as possible as Selfie. Gonna eat a chains, but it's not going to even slightly bother him. So, moving forward into the mid game, I do feel that Misfits are getting to a point where their teamfight composition is really going to start to shine. They're going to look to try and play around a couple of these dragons. They've already picked one up, Yuki.
Yuki has to burn the heal here. Lots of damage going down, trying to respond with an ult of his own. About an even trade overall. I want to just check in on the map, though. We're about 14 minutes in. It's 4-2 in the kills, but I'm not going to get a chance because Selfie's hungry for blood. Impaler blown up in an instant. The red buff tick going to burn him down, and Perfect walking away once again with nothing for himself as another kill dropped in favor of Fnatic, or Misfits, rather.
Fnatic even had vision over the wall. They knew exactly where Selfie was, and they just didn't respect it. Impaler not having any flash, feeling confident enough to be able to clear out that vision, ends up getting punished for it. So, nice collapse coming out from Misfits to get themselves another kill, and so far that just seems to be the story of the game for Misfits, just finding these picks after picks and just, as a team, doing a great job of capitalizing where they can. Yeah,
2K gold lead built up from their proactive play and really trying to force things across the map. Wisdom and Selfie, a pretty good dynamic duo overall. You can see 100% kill participation for Wisdom here, 80% coming in as we see this trade go down. I'm always excited when I see concussive blows and the stun comes out, but that's a Trundle versus Braum. No one's going down.
Yeah, and it's a support Trundle versus a support Braum as well, so just a bit of a slaps back and forth as the game has started to slow down as we approach the, well, we are at the 15-minute mark. So Dragon, second Dragon of the game, likely going to be spawning soon. I'm going to have a quick check as to what Dragon is going to be coming up, and I do believe that is the Cloud. The Cloud Drake.
Yes.
So you're going to get
old
that
friend, the Cloud Drake.
old friend, the Cloud Drake. That's going to give you that base movement speed when you are out of combat. So setting up for those rotations and just having a little bit more map movement, it does help a lot. And given the way Misfits have been playing, they've been focused more on the lanes right now. They want to reach that mid game because, as you can see, Ezreal still taking his time to ramp up. Looks like Selfie working towards that second item Zhonya's, and to be honest, something that we haven't talked about much is how the new itemization actually suits Lissandra really, really well, because she wants as much cooldown reduction as possible, but she also kind of wants to be off tanky, where she's in the middle of everyone, doing as much as she can and staying alive for as long as possible. So now that you get that extra cooldown reduction on both the Abyssal and the Zhonya's, it's almost a perfect fit for her.
Yeah, and we've seen how well Selfie's been able to use it as well. 1-1-3 his score. We talked about it already, but this man, I mean, not only is he doing incredibly well in terms of individual contribution, but that's 151 CS to 106. Basically a 50 CS lead in the mid lane. I don't think I ever see LeBlanc get behind like this.
Yeah, and it's all, you have to think back to very early on into the game where Impaler ended up giving that red buff over to Selfie, and just having that gave him such an advantage, which Selfie did not hesitate to take advantage of. So really impressive stuff coming out from Misfits so far as they look to take this blue buff.
Oh, trying to force a collapse here, maybe looking to make a fight. Dragon is on the way, blue buff. He's going to drop in favor of the Misfits, but So Perfect responding with some damage. Are they Fnatic going to look for the engage? Echo's backing. Maokai with TP at the ready. Looks like they're going to move forward. All coming out from Cly. No commitment quite yet. LeBlanc jumping forward. Lucian is on the flank. TP coming in from the Maokai. They're ready for a fight. Cly, he gets burned down. TP coming in. They're looking for more. Can they get it? Wisdom. Lamb's respite goes. What a beautiful use of the ultimate. Can he make it out? The double kill for Wisdom moving forward. Snap back from Warlib to get one of his own. But Fnatic still absolutely getting crushed out here. It's the 2-for-1 exchange. And Misfits now poised to take the dragon.
They're looking to take a bit. Warlib, he wants to try and stop this. He's still hanging around. He does have the double buff available to him. Let's see if Misfits can get the collapse.
Alfari wants that snare. Twisted advance. Selfie coming over the wall as well. So much movement speed. TP available. Not going to chase him down, though. Warlib making use of that mobility to kind of force Misfits off the dragon.
And he's exactly that. He's going to stop Misfits from being able to pick up that neutral objective. And I think Fnatic Academy, even though they fell behind in the kill score, they might look to change that right now.
Warlib maybe looking to find the stun here. Selfie, though. Quick claw. Ready to make his way out of that one if necessary, but not going to find a kill there overall. And once again, Misfits continuing to dominate the map. 7-3 in kills, now a 3K gold lead at their disposal.
So Misfits, they want to be a little bit more proactive as they have been throughout this game. They pick up the blue buff, and then here they're a little bit hesitant as to whether or not they want to go for a fight. They're a bit undecided. So as Perfect bounces back, so they feel that Cly has overextended and want to try and capitalize, but because of the fantastic disengage available from Cly, Misfits start a retreat. But now, with the teleport coming in, they decide, let's go for the hard engage. They use a lot of resources to get Cly down, which makes it difficult to continue the chase, but with Wisdom on the front line and Alfari coming in from the back, it enables them to get the double kill. Warlib, with the snapback, gets himself a kill on the return, which results in Misfits getting a 2-for-1 overall, but because of Warlib being a pain in the backside, he prevents Misfits from picking up that dragon. So overall, with the kill advantage going over in Misfits, they may look to take this turret.
Yeah, moving forward, suddenly 3 members of Fnatic are in the mid lane. So Perfect looking for the re-engage. Selfie suddenly in trouble as Echo is paying all attention over there. It's just going to be the disengage here. Just a trade of cooldowns in the mid lane. Fnatic reminding Misfits that they're not out of this game just yet.
Nice response from Fnatic. Basically telling Misfits, as you rightly said, yo, we've still got some kick left in the tank. We want to make sure that you can't just walk over our base, and we are going to fight for every objective that we can. So they are going to give away a turret down in the bottom lane, but it is very likely they should be able to pick this one up in the top. Actually, I just noticed full health up in the top lane. Alfari doing a pretty good job as he gets collapsed on by Fnatic.
He's a brave man, but I don't know if he's 4v1 brave, and he's going to have to put it to the test here. He's running for his life, but Echo will be able to get the stun. No, he jumps back into the team, but Alfari is eventually going to drop here. It's slow, it's systematic, but with 4 members in the mid lane, Misfits are making things happen in mid.
I think Alfari can be pretty pleased with that play overall, keeping 4 members of Fnatic Academy preoccupied while the rest of Misfits look to take objectives around the map. They're going to get the tier 1 in the middle lane, they're going to get the tier 2 in the bottom, and overall, Misfits are going to be the ones to come out ahead.
Fnatic, Exorc, and Cly still pushing, though. The remaining members of the team grouping, but this tower will drop just as predicted, so it's 3-1 in the tower score and a 5K gold lead. Fnatic maybe trying to get something back, but Misfits completely own the map, and Lysandre's on the way, and Ezreal all to back her up. Things could not get any better for Misfits at this stage.
Certainly the case. I really like that teleport out from Selfie, but hang on, Warlib.
Warlib, Subjugate goes down. He's not quite as tanky as he once was. He is going to use the Chrono Break, trying to make his way out of this one. We'll have the phase dive soon enough, but the slow from Ezreal going to be enough, and another quick pickup for Misfits.
Really nice snipe coming out from Yuki to guarantee that kill. So Alfari a little bit overextended, but Misfits are able to capitalize. Fnatic not able to do the same. Misfits able to catch out Warlib. They get that kill down onto him, turning his score from 3-1 to 3-2. And now they are finally able to pick up their second dragon of the game. So Misfits, the thing with this team is every play they make, they always seem to get something off the back of it. And this is what's incredible about this team. When you look at Fnatic Academy, you think of all the resources and experience they have backing them behind, yet whenever they come out with a slight edge, they never really turn it into anything.
Yeah, hasn't been there for them. But on the opposite side, Misfits, Wisdom especially, such a monster here overall. And you can see he's participated in 100% of the kills.
Wow.
And Misfits, now with that dragon, have secured both a Mountain Drake and a Cloud Drake. So not only are they faster, but taking those towers and taking that Baron will be so much easier for them. And with 5K gold, 6K gold in the lead just about, that's pretty much their next objective.
Yeah, you and I were talking in the break room earlier on about this jungle matchup. How is Wisdom going to do up against Impaler? How is Wisdom going to do with Alphari? Because Alphari, he likes to have a bit of support coming out from his jungler, and that's what made the synergy so great with him and Maxlaw, how Maxlaw was such a top-heavy jungle style of player. And with Wisdom coming in, it feels like that there's no difference. Wisdom is putting pressure all across the map. His vision control is absolutely spectacular. Yes, he got caught out a little bit in the early game, but he has definitely rectified that with his kill score.
And you can see how ready Misfits are to make plays. Of course, Fnatic are taking a tower in the bottom side, so it will just be an even trade, but Misfits are already on top side, taking this tower, and you can see Kindred, the pings are coming out. They may be looking for a gank in the mid lane as well. Fnatic, though, they're not done. They're going to look to take the tier 2 and bottom as well.
They want to try and keep this pressure up onto Misfits. Alphari does have both the flash and teleport available, but Misfits, they're a little bit divided. They have presence in the mid, they have presence in the top, but all 4 members aren't really committing to a single objective. That might change, though, as Wisdom rotates right into the mid.
Selfie moving forward. Perfect, not going to burn the ult. Is going to burn the ult in the end there. Ice Shard not going to fall through the block. Perfect jumps back, but the mid lane tower is set to fall. Alphari is teleporting in. They could look for the fight. They're behind enemy lines. Perfect, he does not go down. Wisdom, not quite enough mobility to chase that one. Whirlib taking a lot of poke, but Misfits grabbing another tower and once again maintaining that gold lead.
Oh, Cly, he may now be the one that's caught out of position.
Oh no, this might be the story of Cly's career, sad as it may seem. Caught once again, will manage to walk this one out, but Misfits are going to take control of the bottom side of the map and take the blue buff as well.
So you could see what Fnatic tried to do there. They took the bottom turret. They wanted to use Clyde to set up for the flank, while the rest of Fnatic pushed them into Clyde to then use his ultimate to set up for a fight. Oh, Impaler!
Oh, moving forward. There goes Alphari, the engage. The ult back from Clyde. They're moving. Extor throwing down the culling. TP in as well. Lamb's respite dropping. Misfits moving in for the heal. Wisdom is going to get stunned, is going to go down, but suddenly Whirlib in the back line. Chrono break, not out yet. Is he going to use it? Yes, getting down a decent amount of damage, but Exarch is exhausted. Lissandra is moving forward. Ice Shard to grab the kill.
Slow.
Misfits, they're too far ahead. Perfect flashing away, running for his life.
Nice.
Yuki over the wall. We saw it yesterday. We're going to rinse and repeat it today. Is another Ezreal over the wall. Going to grab the kill, and Misfits dominate that team fight.
So Misfits turn the fight around in their favor. Fnatic tried to set the flank up engage up before. They tried to do it again, but Impaler, he just walks into that brush completely unbeknownst to him that the entire Misfits lineup is just waiting for him. Misfits invest a lot of resources onto the relatively tanky Impaler. They can't bring him down, and because they've sent so much into trying to get that kill, they almost end up paying for it. So have a look at this. Impaler, he ends up dashing out. Clyde doing a great job of keeping his jungler alive, and then the flank TP comes in. Misfits are kind of divided, leaving Wisdom up on the front half of the fight, and he ends up getting dropped. So now Fnatic feel confident. They have the numbers advantage. They can keep going, but Whirlib, he's been chunked out a lot, and Exorc overcommitting way too much. He uses his dash in, he gets exhaust quickly, and that's all Selfie needs to get up the kill. And following this, it's just an easy cleanup for Misfits.
Yuki over the wall, pop. Perfect goes down. Moving forward, of course, I think excellent play from both teams, we have to say, to shut down Kindred, to make sure that that stun went down right before the Lamb's Respite run out. But at the end of the day, Misfits just continued to out-execute.
Oh, no cleanse.
And out-duel, too. Selfie moving forward. Perfect.
Goodbye.
He bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Goodbye is right. I have never seen a Lissandra out-duel LeBlanc. Selfie making a name for himself.
Wow. He realized that LeBlanc did not have the cleanse up. He knew he could get all that free damage down. He is level 15 to the 12 of Sol's Perfect. He's well on his way to getting a Flame Horizon on his mid lane opponent. Selfie demonstrating that he definitely has what it takes to make it into the Challenger Series.
And Misfits now posturing around the Baron. Yuki throwing out the poke, the red buff, the Iceborne Gauntlet doing work, and the Earth Dragon making it so much easier to burn this one down. But Fnatic, looks like they're ready for a fight, but in the meantime, Selfie has TP, and he may just have the bottom inhibitor tower as well. As Geralt comes out, nothing quite yet. He's going to grab that one too. So Misfits not only break open the base, but they split the focus of Fnatic, and now the Baron is set to go down.
Sol's Perfect is in bottom lane. The teleport is on Selfie. They could force a 5v4 hit.
Looking to move forward, going forward. The dragon, is it going to drop? Who's it going to get it? Impaler misses the smite steal. It is going to drop for Misfits, and they're just going to walk away. Baron, they got the inhibitor tower as well. They got everything they wanted.
Beautiful cross-map play coming out from Misfits. Selfie knew that he had the global pressure advantage. He definitely knew that he could win out the 1v1 against Sol's Perfect as well, and it was just really good cooldown management coming out from Misfits. Just dividing the pressure of Fnatic, not really knowing what to do, and this comes back to what we were talking about earlier, the team cohesion. Is there a voice in the team that's telling them what to do, where to go? Because right now, they just seem so unclear on how to respond to the pressure that Misfits is putting down.
And at this point, they're really running out of options. What are the choices left for them? Because this is a 10K gold lead, a Baroned up Misfits, and an open bot lane inhibitor. Things do not get much scarier than this. Selfie 3-1-6, a completed Rabadon's death cap. One complete item ahead of LeBlanc in addition to the 10 stacked Dark Seal. I'm surprised we didn't see a Magi Soul Stealer at this point.
Well, Selfie wanted to become a real wizard before completing that Magi's, because you can't become... First you need the hat and then you get the book. That's the order in which it goes. So likely going to be working towards that next, but he might not even have enough time to get it, because with this Baron buff, they could look to just push into the base. They have the teleport available on Alfari, who's just split pushing up in the top, and we talked about him playing attack, but right now he's trying to be that carry top laner that we know and love Alfari for, as he is shoving Worded back.
Yeah, and Misfits clearing out the vision as well, making sure that this jungle is not safe for Fnatic, and that tier 2 will drop effortlessly. The final tier 2 for Fnatic, 7-3, now the tower score. Mid lane potentially the next objective, and Dreams getting cheeky there in the end, and Cly taking actually a lot of damage. My god, they're moving forward too. Selfie on the side. Nice footwork coming in from Perfect to make it out of that one, but so much damage has already gone down, and Misfits, they're just so far ahead.
They certainly are, but they aren't able to actually solidify a kill right there. So a lot of resources were invested, and Sol's Perfect, he can just go back to base. His cleanse is down, but now he's going to come back to the fray. He's at full health. His cooldowns have just come off cooldown. How well are Fnatic going to be able to deal with the siege?
Warlord looking for the stun, not going to find it there. Impaler trying to shut down Selfie. Selfie going to dodge out the ult as Warlord maybe looks to get a kill here. The flash over the wall. The rest of the team moving forward. They're hungry for blood. Ezreal's going to get it. Lamb's respite drops. Perfect dueling
Alfari
on the back line. Alfari, he's completely unkillable. I feel like we've seen this before. This time it's a Trundle, or this time it's a Maokai. It's not going to be the Trundle, and Yuki throwing out the Mystic shots on the backside, picking up kills left and right, and the double kill comes out. Impaler, the last man standing, but Misfits, they get the fight they want. They break the base, and now they're going to take the game. Yuki may cost him his life, though.
Wow, really impressive stuff coming out from the side of Misfits. Very decisive in that play. Notice that it was Fnatic that actually tried to set that one up. They felt like that they had caught Selfie out, but with the Zhonyas, with the flash, Selfie was able to survive long enough to then turn that fight around, and Misfits just followed up. Yuki doing so much damage on the backline. 6-0-2, somewhat of the quiet carry in this game, because he has been doing so much work. Really impressive performance coming out from Misfits, solidifying that they are really looking to take that top spot in Group A.
And of course, it's not over yet. They were not able to break open the Nexus. I may have been over-eager to give them that. The respawn timers moving in favor of Fnatic at this stage of the game. But Misfits now extending it to a 14K gold lead. They're looking to make it 15 here. Just about ending the game, and you can see this here is the play that did it.
So have a look at this. They try to catch Selfie out of position. He's in the Zhonyas, and Fnatic think, oh, we can just try and kill Selfie right here. But they invest so much to try and get that kill that they completely ignore Yuki, who's at full health. Bit of a fail flash. We can forgive him for that, though, because Alfari is sitting on the front line, 1 versus 3, doing what we know he does best. Try to carry. He is getting so much damage down. Yuki there for the cleanup, and he's just sitting on the base, getting all these kills. Bit of an overcommitment. I feel like if they'd gone for more of the objectives, they could have gotten a double inhibitor right there, but they feel like they don't need it at this point.
I wish I could say we were tempting their digression, but taking tips from the Fnatic main roster. It's the Death Push. They're moving forward. Alfari has interrupted. He's not actually taking any damage. TP's coming in. The rest of Misfits are on the way. The Maokai is still alive. Cly looking for the disengage. Selfie ulting himself, making sure that he's safe. Whirlib with a snapback with the flash out.
Oh,
one more Zhonya's. All he's going to need, and every member of Misfits is up. Fnatic, one last desperate attempt. It doesn't net them anything, but Ezreal, 2 kills, and Misfits potentially the game.
Alfari, 5 versus 1 and he doesn't die. I mean, I don't know how he does it. He uses that ultimate to get so much damage reduction. He's already insanely tanky, level 15 higher than anyone on the side of Fnatic. It's enough to buy time for the rest of Misfits to come in, win the fight, and win the game.
Dominating first game, a dominating second game. Misfits are looking like an incredibly strong roster. Now, almost even stronger. Max Lore doing just as good. Wisdom maybe even doing better. in this second game. And just stunning performance from the team. Fnatic Academy consistently looking on the back foot early game. Once again, relatively even, but I felt like that game unfolded in Misfits' favor very quickly.
So there were some positives to Fnatic's play. Early on, we saw some great TPs come out from them. They did seem to make some really better decisions. And in this game, I just want to give the credit to Misfits. Rather than Fnatic misplaying, I want to say that Misfits just played really well. Their teamwork was out of this world. They had some on-point TPs. Their responses to everything that Fnatic tried to set up were beautiful, and it was just constantly Misfits making the plays and making them work.
And I gotta say, it wasn't. You're right. It wasn't just Wisdom either. It was the whole team of Misfits. Everyone felt like they were on the same page. They knew what they wanted. They knew how to execute. And this Ezreal pick working out so well for Yuki.
Really
They
well.
play passive in the early game, but in those late game team fights, that man is a monster. Leaping over everyone, firing out skill shots, grabbing kills left and right.
And Selfie as well. This guy, he's had a bit of a rough time throughout the LCS. Not really. It's been debatable how strong of a mid laner he is. Here, coming into the Challenger Series, he's trying to prove that he is definitely the best in this bunch.
And I think, I mean, it's at this point, I think he's the best mid laner we've seen potentially. The use of Zhonya's, the use of the Frozen Tomb both on himself and on his opponents was flawless. How many ultimates did he dodge out by, or LeBlanc combos did he dodge out by ulting himself at the right time? You know, he dodged Clyde's ult in the mid lane, he dodged the LeBlanc rotation on the bottom side of the map, and in both those team fights, he walks out with his life and is able to take so much more from the side of Fnatic. Misfits are almost blowing me away. I'm really impressed at the level that they're playing at.
So now they're at 2-0, sitting comfortably at the top of the group. We obviously have more games to go, so other teams will be joining them as the day progresses. But I feel like Misfits are the team to beat right now. Fnatic Academy sitting at 0-2. I mean, you have to get top 2 of the group to make it to the playoff bracket.
Yeah.
So things are looking a little bit rough for them right now.
Yeah, and things are grim, as you said. It's going to be interesting to see how they adapt. But of course, with Fnatic Academy falling to Misfits, we are going to have to head off the riff for a brief break. Don't go anywhere. The Challenger Series qualifiers continue right after this.